Hello guys, welcome to the grand finale of versus the World campaign. I say grand finale, but I've actually been thinking that it's probably going to be pretty chill cruise till the end. I just let it going. And, well, there's always a chance of something happening. I don't think we have a truce with Great Britain right now. Nope. So, you never know, but at the same time, I think it's going to be pretty chill. We're about to have more loyalists than radicals, which is the first time in 40, 50 years? God knows. A lot of those are just in conquered territories, so it's not really that much of a problem in the mainland, but still. Oh, those guys are... the population is pretty small. They're having some issues. And the turmoil is still very problematic all over the place. Yeah, but incorporating Egypt took a long time. I think some of those places, yeah, when they have small populations, they don't really do that well. And Japan is free. Damn. They actually made it, and they just instantly went to... Oh, maybe they have been part of the British Empire as Sakhalin. Damn. France got wrecked. Just at the end there. It's actually hard to say now because for some reason, yeah, the data is only from last year. I never know how the data works. Here you can see that it's from the entire playthrough. Why it works like that, I don't know. Oh yeah, one thing I should be doing is keep an eye on the cohesion, because in a few days I should be able to convert one more nation. The far left industrialist, right. We got some revolts all over the place. Someone is trying to unify, Java is trying to unify their archipelago. And they've actually been doing quite well. I mean, I could go for them again, but let them have it at this point. They've done pretty well. They won the war against us somehow. Still not really sure how that happened, but a guy retired. They didn't do, the rural folk didn't do anything for a long time, which makes me very happy. Actually, one last thing I could do is do one last trade overview. Yeah, people like a lot of bullets, which we are producing a ton of, and not using much because we are not fighting a war for a change. Very rare that happens. Export everything. Export cloves to Belgium? Okay, I guess you guys need cloves. Probably not the best idea, because exporting cloves is going to make them more expensive for my own market. I have a ton of coffee apparently. Oh, coffee in my market. Well, that makes sense. Just to boost this GDP a little bit. Because I think exporting, usually because it increases prices, usually increases GDP. Though it's pretty much just a number. We have so much dye. Yeah, so much dye in a lot of ways in this campaign. Japan needs engines, as any fresh new nation needs. Yeah, those guys are about to dissolve either way. Well, they need a lot of stuff. Yeah, I suggest a lot of convoys, and I want to use them somehow. Though losing all of that bureaucracy on trade is not the best. But it's not really a problem at the same time. Egyptian market. Oh, they left the Stati Ecclesiastici. Well, their loss. Not that much to export overall. Why not? Grain as well. Yeah, it is quite a lot of bureaucracy, but it will be easily fixable. Just taking huge numbers to export. Belgium needs so much iron, damn. Sure, guys. Belgium needs liquor as well. They probably have a massive GDP for their size. Usually it happens with Belgium. Export. Meat, that's fine. Opium. Yeah, people need opium, for sure. Just want to export as much stuff as possible to actually use those convoys, because for now they are just not doing much. And they could be helping us quite a bit. I think it might be quite visible, the GDP increase, hopefully. Russian, Occitan, Hungarian, why not? Well, sugar is actually very beneficial. Oh yeah, sulfur. We have a ton of sulfur from Sicily, so might as well export all of it. Belgium needs just everything, apparently. Tools. Yeah, people like tools. We are such tools. And the last one. We're exporting pretty much everything. Which, I mean, at this point of the game is usually what happens. You kind of... There's no that much need to specialize, and when you have, well, 80 millions in ourselves, and also, well, we have India in our customs union, so we're just producing a million of everything. And I was thinking one thing I could build, considering the situation, is a few more government administrations. And I'm not even taxing my most populous regions all that much. This should be fine for bureaucracy. Okay, so let's see. So it's 209. In theory, we're studying massive new exports of everything. We also have elections. Hey, railway throughput. Well, it's not yet that impressive. Oh yeah, those guys are stepping down every time there's an actual vote scandal, which happens all the time. Very topical in our modern world. Also, I could remove those that I'm not using at all. I have 2 of some of those. That's interesting. I wonder how that happened. Probably shouldn't stuff like that be happening. But Java, for some reason, is just not trading with me. So let's just remove those pop-ups. It's a bit clearer. All of those are imports, actually. That's interesting. Yeah, importing to Italy is not the best deal, apparently. Well, I almost forgot. I was about to convert someone. Can we convert the Ottomans? That's the question. I don't think so. I think we're missing just a bit of time. Yeah. So, another nation. So we could go for Sokoto. Or I think Morocco would be better. Boom. And this is going to be it for the campaign, I think. I think we end on January 1st, 1936, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's December 1936. Fascist France and French Republic, okay. They have some quick changes going on right now, but sure. And game over. Okay, let's take a quick look at the screen. So I think at the end, the nation of Italy is not doing too bad. The population, as you can see, the problem is population has been stagnating for long periods because we haven't been really expanding that much. And we have barely any immigration as well, which was a huge problem. Actually, it was a huge problem till the end of the campaign because we never changed the citizenship laws. Prestige, it's not really important. Standards of living, yeah, well, very high taxes, very low wages, constant wars. That's what's going to happen. You can see that at the end, once we actually started to focus a little bit on the economy, it started rapidly improving. And the GDP, frankly, the GDP stagnated for a long time, but this was the war period. For a lot of this time, we actually weren't able to constantly produce. Also, having wars whack stuff like trade and so on, so that was a lot of problems. More radicals coming as well. So you can see the stagnation started, I think, around the time I went full-on infamy mode. Catholics, very strong in Kingdom of Heaven, but let's look in the game now. And let's look around as a sort of epilogue for this campaign. First of all, the most important thing, Yeah, this wasn't as successful as I hoped, though there are some bright spots. So in Europe, overall, really not much. We converted Albania, which is not that much of a success. For the longest time, Switzerland was actually Catholic, but they turned atheist at the last like 20 or 30 years of the game. But actually, atheists managed to gain the majority. Yeah, I guess majority in those places. Even though Catholics are still strong second, so it's not too bad. Also, atheist Romania, blessed. Egypt is a bit of a success. First of all, the Egypt as a country, and I actually like that we managed to revive Oriental Orthodox in Egyptian desert. That's kind of cool. This, so you can see that in Lower Egypt, the Sunnis still have the majority, but there's a strong amount, 500,000 of Catholics in Lower Egypt. That's not a small amount. The problem was, first of all, we needed to integrate those, incorporate those states, and also there needed to be some Catholics to actually move in. Now we have like 50,000 more Catholics gaining each week or something like that, or was it each month? Each month, that's not as impressive. Still, that's just in Italy proper. There's more conversion happening in the power block all over the place. But yeah, so if it had like 10, 15 more years, I think Egypt would have converted to Catholicism. But that shows that you need to get this stuff done early, because later on you're not going to have time to actually do that stuff. Greece, as you can see, in Greece the problem was there was not that many Catholics in a lot of those places. And some of those places we actually got relatively recently, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, in a lot of those places there's no Catholics at all, which means there's no conversion going to be happening. I guess maybe a more play with the decrease would have helped, but that's why the conversion power is actually very strong in this kind of I'm pretty sure I'm like the only one who played this way. Maybe not actually. Just let me know if someone else got a campaign focused on actually trying to convert people. But the good thing about this, it gives, let's see here, it gives a small minority of Catholics in every state that they have. So even, actually this is something I could do for next time, is even if I intend on actually conquer something directly, is first to make them a puppet, impose state religion, and then annex them. So I'm sure there's going to be Catholics at least in every state that I go for. This would be really nice. Yeah, the main issue I think with this campaign is, if you see here on the GDP, I think over here we were just one state, then we gained a few more states. Is this where we unified? I think it was a bit later. We got a few states and we were just kind of stuck with Austria having like just a bit too much. Oh, maybe we just took we became Italy without Venetia and Lombardy, I think. That's what happened. So this is where we kind of unified, but we still didn't have two of the most strongest regions in Italy. So all of this took time. It didn't help that Austria had the best game I've ever seen them. They conquered all of the southern Germany. They conquered Silesia. They were just dunking on everyone. And yeah, they were also like allied with Ottomans, which was the other possible targets for expansion, but they were just hanging on together, which was very annoying. Though there was also a problem that I didn't really play to break them as soon as possible, because yeah, we look at the map, it doesn't look that great when you release those nations. But I kind of had to do this at that point, because otherwise, yeah, it would have been, it's just, I spent too much time, wasted too much money instead of building stuff and expanding myself more. It was just on fighting wars that really didn't bring me that much in the end, because I fought several wars over what could have been done in one. So yeah, other conversions in other parts of the world. Yeah, Africa didn't, other than Egypt and Madagascar. Madagascar went pretty nicely, actually. And there was actually, the Catholics just gained plurality in Cape Colony, actually a majority. Was some decent movements in the Eastern Africa and West over here, but not as impressive. I think majority of this was converted by France, if I recall. There are actually some Protestants as well. This is kind of nice. It looks like there's just not a lot of time in Africa overall. And the problem was the colonies had a very strong tendency to actually go for total separation, which means they pretty much stop converting. And I haven't been able to really prevent them from doing this. So maybe for the next campaign, if the mechanics of conversion stay as they are, the play is to protectorate something, make them change their religion, and then annex them, I suppose. Because then you actually get the possibility of converting them, and you can maybe use your strong institutions, like religious school, to actually convert those people. But then you have to deal with the 20 years of incorporation. Though if they're not converting at all, then 20 years doesn't sound too bad, I suppose. Yeah, on the other hand, is dealing with a few of the subjects, I think, is fairly doable. You can, for example, just release them, try to impose religion on them again, do stuff like that. There are some things you can do. You can try to micro this, like increase the relations and so on. But when I had, how many subjects do I still have at this point? A lot. It's just not enough time and effort available to micromanage all of them. And even stuff like influence is going to be running out at some point. The other actually pretty nice success is Indochina. Indochina went really well when it comes to conversion. I think it's because they just, all of the nations here start with, how's it called? State religion. And they just never bothered to change, which actually happened in quite a few places. No, some of them went to separation still. No, Java actually prevented conversion quite well overall, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the problem. When they go for total separation, it also weakens your cohesion a lot and makes additional conversions much more difficult. Yeah, as you guys said, India probably should have been much bigger priority, even if not going for directly puppeting them, just releasing them from England would have helped a ton, I think, with this campaign. Just gave me a lot more freedom to actually do stuff. This was another thing. I think there was like one revolt of subjects. I was really afraid that once I go over 100 infamy, my subjects would be revolting constantly. Like once truces run out, they would just start wars again and again. But that didn't really happen. They only revolted once at the very end of the campaign. So it wasn't nearly as much of a problem as I was thinking it was going to be. Which is interesting. I didn't really expect that. Because as you can see, the great powers, once you go over 100 infamy, they just start wars on you, whether they have a chance or not. They just try cutting you down in size all the time. I'm not really sure why Great Britain is not doing that right now, when they have quite a good army. But, well, you never know with AI. But still, they will be starting a lot of wars against you. Not the subjects, apparently. They will just... Sure, they will increase their autonomies, and you are not going to be decreasing their economy ever at that point, because they're just going to be stuck at 100. Can I see how much bonus they have? And how much they're gaining? I cannot really see. They're just stuck and at 100. Let's see in the numbers how they apply. I wonder, maybe Evangelize helped quite a bit with Indochina. Yeah, so it went quite well here. Persia actually was about to be going quite well. As you can see, there's a significant minorities of Catholics all over the place. And atheists in Arabistan, okay. Ukraine, wow. I love the random spots of atheists all over the place. Yeah, Persia was about to become another Indochina. They just needed 20 or 30 more years, which is the problem with this conversion. You just need a lot of time to actually do it. And when you start as a tiny nation, you always are going to be behind. Of course, I could have done this like 20 or 30 years earlier, I think, because I've gotten the ball rolling. But still, that wouldn't have been as much time as I would want. The conversion is not nearly as fast. And Persia is state religion, and I think religious schools. No, they went total separation. Okay. Sure. And another kind of random win is actually Canada ends up being, for the most part, Catholics, also a bit of Hindu, Protestant. Well, that's all over the place, but Catholics are actually fairly strong in Canada somehow. I suppose a lot of this is just migrants without me actually converting them, but I think the conversion put them ahead in Manitoba. I think the Hindus almost have the plurality, but with the 2% boost, maybe the Catholics managed to gain the advantage. Also a bit of conversions here and there, though I suppose they have total separation. Freedom of conscience, which is pretty much the same. This they tolerate all, well, not all religions, but like Protestants as well. So the Protestants are not going to be converting. Yeah, the AI actions are a real problem in this kind of campaign. So yeah, I think just not enough time in the end. So another campaign, not really a success, unfortunately. But the new DLC is coming, so I think it's going to be time for the next one. I think I'm going to post a little poll on YouTube to see what you guys think about which nations should be starting. I think it's going to be a campaign with a kind of colonial nation going for colonial empire, but only having the cores being actually cored. Everything else is unstated. And we see how it goes. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Bit of a different way to play. So yeah, GG guys. Here's to another great campaign.